Welcome. Today, I'm going to share something that can truly change your life. This isn't just a book summary, it's a guide to living with peace, strength, and confidence. The book is called The Power of Positive Thinking, Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. Since it was first published, it has sold more than 15 million copies and been translated into over 40 languages. Millions of people around the world have read it, found hope again, and started believing in themselves. But this isn't just about motivation, it's a way of thinking, speaking, and acting that brings real change. People who are sad, anxious, or hopeless have turned their lives around using these ideas. The best thing is that the book uses simple, clear English, and today I'll explain it in even easier words so anyone can understand and feel its power. While you learn the lessons of life, you'll also improve your English listening and understanding. So stay with me until the end. This book might give you the faith, power, and confidence you've been searching for all along. Let's begin. This book has 20 chapters, and I'll explain each one step by step with real life examples and simple English. Chapter 1, Believe in Yourself. If you don't believe in yourself, no one else will. Many people fail even before they start because deep inside they think, I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough. These negative thoughts quietly kill their dreams. The book teaches us to build confidence from within. Imagine a boy named Sam. In school, he was always quiet. He thought, I can't speak English like others. I'll sound stupid, so he never tried. One day, his teacher told him, You're not less than anyone. You just think you are. Those words changed him. Every morning, Sam started telling himself, I can learn. I'm not afraid. I will improve. 6 months later, he stood on stage and gave a speech in English. His hands were shaking, but his heart was strong because he finally believed in himself. This chapter teaches us to replace negative thoughts with positive ones. Talk to yourself kindly, like you would talk to someone you love. Action tip. Every morning, look in the mirror and say, I believe in myself. I am capable. I can do difficult things. Do it for 30 days and you'll feel stronger and more confident. Chapter 2. A peaceful mind means a powerful life. You can't think clearly when your mind is full of noise. This chapter teaches that peace brings power. Think about your phone. When too many apps are open, it slows down. Your mind works the same way. Anger, stress, jealousy, and overthinking drain your energy. To live powerfully, you must calm your inner world. There was a woman named Maria. She worked hard every day, but was always tired and angry. One day, she sat under a tree, closed her eyes, and just breathed. 10 minutes a day, no phone, no noise, no pressure. Slowly, she changed. She smiled more, spoke calmly, and people began to respect her. She didn't get lucky. She simply found peace. The lesson: take breaks from chaos. Go for a walk. Sit quietly. Read something peaceful before bed. Not the news or gossip. Peace equals power. When your mind is calm, your life becomes clear and strong. Chapter 3. Stop being afraid of the future. Fear kills more dreams than failure ever will. Most people don't fail because of real problems. They fail because of fear. They keep asking, what if I lose money? What if people laugh at me? But what if you succeed? A young man once dreamed of starting a cafe but was too afraid. He asked his grandfather, what if I fail? The old man smiled and said, then you'll learn. But if you never try, you'll always regret it. The man tried, failed, learned, and tried again. Today he owns 5 cafes. Why? Because he stopped asking, what if I fail? And started asking, what if I fly? Fear isn't real. It lives in your imagination. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's taking action despite fear. Remember, don't fear the future. Shape it with your actions. Chapter 4, Create Your Own Happiness. Happiness isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Many people think, I'll be happy when I get a job, get married, or become rich. But if your happiness depends on something outside, you'll always be chasing it. A businessman once said, I have everything: money, fame, a big house, but no peace. Then he started doing small things, spending time with poor children, calling his mom every night, planting trees, saying thank you more often. Slowly, he smiled again. He learned that happiness isn't in things, it's in moments, in giving, in gratitude. The lesson: smile even when life isn't perfect, happy because you're alive. Stop comparing, start appreciating, enjoy the small things: tea with your mother, a hug from your child, a quiet evening alone. One line to remember: if you want to be happy, don't wait, create. Chapter 5. Expect the best and you'll get it. Your mind is like a magnet. It attracts what you think about most. If you expect good things, you'll find them. If you expect failure, it often becomes true. A man named David was a salesman. Every morning he thought, no one will buy today. And he sold almost nothing. One day he decided to change. He looked in the mirror and said, today will be a great day. I'll meet kind people. I'll sell. At first, nothing big changed. But slowly, his smile became real, his energy grew, and people started trusting him. In 3 months, he became the top salesperson, not because the world changed, but because he did. The message, what you expect, becomes your reality. So choose wisely. Expect success, not failure. Action tip: before any big moment, a meeting, an interview, a speech, close your eyes and say, I expect the best. I am ready. Do this for a week, and you'll feel a shift in your mindset. Chapter 6. Stop feeding your mind with fear. Fear is like poison. It steals your peace, weakens your energy, and takes away your confidence. This chapter teaches one powerful lesson: starve your fears and feed your faith. Think about this. What are you feeding your mind every day? If you're always watching negative news, listening to complaints, or comparing yourself on social media, you're feeding fear. But if you read good books, talk to positive people, meditate, pray, and spend time reflecting, you're feeding peace and power. There was a woman named Julia who suffered from panic attacks. She was constantly afraid of losing her job, her health, and her relationships. Her mornings began with bad news, and her nights ended with gossip videos. Her mind became a storm. One day, her therapist gave her a simple challenge. For the next 10 days, avoid all negative content. No bad news, no gossip, only positive thoughts, good music, walks in nature, and writing in a gratitude journal. At first, Julia laughed. She said, this won't help, but she did it anyway. By the 7th day, she already felt calmer. By the 30th day, her panic attacks were gone. She felt like a new person, all because she stopped feeding her fears. This chapter teaches that fear grows when you feed it, so stop watering it. Instead of asking, what if I fail? Ask, what if I grow? Don't let fear write your story. A powerful quote says, feed your mind with courage and fear will die of hunger. Chapter 7. Break the habit of worrying. Worry is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere. This chapter explains that worrying is a habit, not a fact of life. You weren't born with worry, you learned it. And just like any habit, you can unlearn it. There was a man named Nick who worried about everything: losing his job, getting sick, being alone. One day, he heard a speaker say something unusual. Write down all your worries on paper, then burn the paper. He thought it was silly, but he tried it. He wrote down all his fears: poverty, failure, loneliness, and burned the page. He felt lighter. He kept doing this every week, and slowly his worries lost their power. Why? Because he stopped holding them inside. The book gives another tip. Divide your worries into three parts. 1. Worries you can solve now. Solve them. 2. Worries you can't solve now. Plan a time to think about them later. 3. Worries that are useless. Throw them out. Worry steals your peace, sleep, and focus. Instead of hiding from it, face it. Replace worry with problem solving. Remember, worry doesn't take away tomorrow's pain, it only steals today's peace. Chapter 8, Trust the Power Greater Than You, Wiederkehrfreiheit. This chapter is deeply spiritual but simple. It says that there is a power greater than you, something bigger, wiser, and full of love. You can call it God, the universe, or simply faith. Whatever name you choose, the truth remains. You are not alone. There was a man who lost everything, his business, money, and hope. He tried everything, but nothing worked. Finally, in silence, he said, "I've done all I can. Now I let go. I trust." A week later, a friend unexpectedly called with a new opportunity. It wasn't magic or luck. It was faith and peace after surrender. Think of a child walking with their father. The child doesn't fear cars or strangers because they're holding their father's hand. That's what trust feels like. When you try to control everything, you get tired and weak. But when you trust a higher power, your heart feels light. You realize you don't have to carry all the weight by yourself. Practice. Each night before sleep, whisper, "I am not alone. I trust the path, the path. I release my fear." You'll sleep more peacefully and live more confidently. Chapter 9, How to Have Constant Energy. Many people feel tired all the time, not because their body is weak, but because their mind is exhausted. This chapter shares a powerful truth. Energy comes from thoughts, not just from food or sleep. Your thoughts can give you strength or drain you completely. Imagine two people. One wakes up and says, "Oh no, another hard day." The other says, "Today is a gift. I'll give it my best." Both have the same body and the same job, yet by 10 a.m., one feels tired while the other feels alive. The difference is their mindset. There was a nurse named Emily who worked long 12-hour shifts in a hospital. People always asked how she stayed so full of energy. She said, "I don't focus on how tired I am. I focus on why I do this." Her energy came not from caffeine, but from purpose, from helping others. Even when her legs hurt, she smiled. Her mind was stronger than her body. This chapter teaches that negative thoughts drain your power while positive thinking creates new energy. Start your day with words like, "I am strong. I am ready. I have a reason to live today." Quick practice. Every time you feel low, say out loud, "I have all the energy I need. I am bigger than this moment." Stand up, take a deep breath, and feel the shift inside you. Chapter 10, Try Prayer Power. This chapter isn't about religion, it's about spiritual connection. It says that when your strength ends, you can draw energy from a higher source through something very simple: prayer. Prayer doesn't need perfect words or long speeches. It's just speaking honestly from your heart. Even a quiet whisper like, "Please help me," is enough. A businessman once lost everything: his money, his marriage, his confidence. He tried therapy and coaching, but nothing helped. One night he simply said, "God, if you're there, please help me." He cried for the first time in years. That moment of surrender gave him peace. He began praying every morning for 10 minutes in silence, and slowly his life started to feel lighter and clearer. The book says prayer is not just asking, it's connecting to peace. You don't have to be religious, you just have to be honest. Speak from your soul. Simple practice. Each night before sleep, whisper 3 sentences. 1, thank you for today. 2, forgive me for my mistakes. 3, guide me tomorrow. This small habit can fill your heart with peace, even in dark times. Chapter 11, Stop Holding Grudges. This chapter can truly change your life. It says that holding anger is like drinking poison and expecting the other person to die. Forgiveness isn't about them, it's about freeing yourself. Many people carry old pain, a friend who betrayed them, a partner who cheated, or a family member who hurt them. They say, I'll never forgive, but this only keeps the wound open. Forgiveness closes the wound, not for them, but for you. There was once a man who didn't talk to his brother for 12 years because his brother had insulted him in front of others. Over the years, the pain grew heavier. Then one day he read a simple line: forgive, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. He cried. He called his brother. They both cried and finally healed. He didn't lose his pride, he gained his peace. This chapter reminds us that forgiveness is true power. It takes more strength to forgive than to hate. Forgiving someone doesn't mean they were right. It means you choose peace. Let go, not for them, but for yourself. Try this. Close your eyes and think of someone who hurt you. Whisper, I forgive you. I release this pain. I choose peace. You don't need to tell them. You just need to free your soul. Chapter 12. Live a controlled and relaxed life. In today's world, people are always rushing to work, to eat, to sleep, to achieve. But this chapter teaches that a calm life is not a boring life. It's a smart, successful, and happy one. When you live calmly and with control, you make wiser choices, enjoy deeper moments, and live with more strength. There was a man named Daniel, a busy CEO who spent his days in endless meetings and calls. One day, his doctor warned him, your heart is in danger. You need to slow down. So Daniel changed his habits. He woke up early to have breakfast with his daughter. He stopped checking his phone after 8 p.m. He walked in the park every evening, just listening to the sound of nature. 6 months later, he was healthier, happier, and even more productive. He didn't do less. He did things better. This chapter teaches rushing doesn't lead to success. Focus does. Don't try to do 50 things. Do 5 things with love, and that's enough. Tips for a calm life. 1. Start your morning slowly. No rush. 2. Eat slowly, talk slowly, breathe deeply. 3. Say no to what doesn't bring peace. Remember, being relaxed is not weakness. Being controlled is not boring. It's quiet strength. Chapter 13, How to Stay Calm in Every Situation. Life is unpredictable. Bad things will happen, people will hurt you, plans will fail. But this chapter gives one powerful truth. You can't control everything, but you can control how you respond. The difference between a weak and strong person lies in this. The weak react with anger, fear, or panic. The strong stay calm, think clearly, and act wisely. A young pilot once faced a crisis when one of his plane's engines failed midair. Passengers screamed, the crew panicked, but the pilot stayed calm. He told himself, panic won't save anyone. My calmness will. He followed the procedure, communicated with the tower, and landed safely. When asked later if he was afraid, he smiled and said, yes, but fear doesn't fix a crisis. Clarity does. Calmness is not weakness, it's strength. When things go wrong, breathe, speak slowly, and act wisely. When you're angry, say nothing for 10 seconds and ask yourself, what's the smartest thing I can do right now? Your life won't change when the world calms down. It changes when you do. Chapter 14, Believe in the Healing Power. Your mind has the power to heal your body. Science has shown that peace, faith, and positive thinking can speed up recovery and improve health. There was a woman named Susan who had cancer. Her doctor said she might not survive a year, but instead of giving up, she filled her mind with hope. Every morning she smiled in the mirror and said, my body is healing. My cells are strong. I will live. She helped others at the hospital touch, read books to children, and spread kindness. A year later, her reports showed something amazing. Her cancer was reversing. It wasn't only the medicine, it was the power of her faith and her mindset. A young boy who broke his spine was told he would never walk again, but he imagined himself walking every day. He trained his mind and body for 2 years, and finally he walked and even ran marathons. Your thoughts affect your health. Positive thinking doesn't mean ignoring pain, it means believing in recovery. Simple practice. Every morning and night say, "My body is healing. I am getting stronger. I am full of life." Say it with love. Your cells are listening. Chapter 15. Build strong personal relationships. No one succeeds alone. Humans need love, connection, and understanding. When your relationships are strong, your life becomes stronger. But today, many relationships are weak because of ego, anger, or lack of time. A couple married for 15 years had stopped talking and laughing. One day, the husband made a small change. Every morning, he kissed his wife's hand and said, "Thank you for being with me." At first, she didn't respond, but he kept going. After a few weeks, she smiled. Months later, they renewed their love. Their marriage was saved by kindness and patience. Another man was always too busy for his children until one day his son asked, "Dad, why don't you smile when you see me?" That question broke his heart. From then on, he spent time each day playing and talking with his kids, and their bond became strong again. This chapter teaches, say, "Thank you and I love you" often. Forgive quickly, speak gently, listen with love. This is 1. Simple practices. Message or call one person daily just to appreciate them. 2. Hug more, judge less. 3. Make time, not excuses. Remember, success means nothing if you have no one to share it with. Chapter 16. Make the power of faith work for you. Faith is not just belief, it's trust in action. Faith is what keeps you walking when the path is dark and you can't see the end. It gives you strength when everything else seems lost. When you believe that your life has purpose, that good things are coming, and that you're never truly alone, that's when miracles begin. Faith is the light that guides you through uncertainty and turns fear into courage. Faith is not something you see, it's something you feel. It is the quiet voice that whispers, "Keep going," when everything around you tells you to stop. Faith gives you courage to move forward even when the road is dark and the results are unknown. There was once a man who lost his job, his money, and almost his hope. Every day he prayed and told himself, "Something good is coming. I don't know when, but I trust it will." Months later, he started a small business with almost nothing. Slowly, things began to change. Within a year, he had built a successful company. He said, "Faith didn't make life easy, it made me strong." Another story tells of a woman who was afraid of everything: failure, loss, and judgment. One day, she decided to replace fear with faith. She stopped saying, "What if it goes wrong?" and began to say, "What if it goes right?" From that day, her life changed. She took risks, grew in confidence, and discovered her purpose. This chapter teaches that faith is not blind, it's brave. It doesn't wait for proof, it acts with trust. When you believe that life is guiding you, even through pain, you stop fearing the future. You start walking with peace. Simple practice. Every morning, close your eyes and say, "I trust life. I am guided. I am safe." Repeat it until you feel it in your heart. Faith is not about seeing the path, it's about taking the first step. Chapter 17. Live with purpose. The final chapter brings everything together. It says, "A happy life is not about money, success, or fame. It's about purpose." When you know why you wake up every morning, life becomes meaningful. Purpose is not always something big. It can be small acts of kindness, helping your family, creating something beautiful, or simply becoming a better person each day. And there was a teacher who once told her students, "You don't need to change the world. Just make one person smile today." Years later, many of those students became doctors, artists, and leaders, but they all remembered that message. Purpose gives direction. It gives you strength on hard days. When you live with purpose, every challenge becomes a lesson and every success becomes a blessing. Simple practice. 1. Ask yourself every morning, what can I do today that makes life a little better for me or for someone else? 2. Follow your curiosity. It often leads to your purpose. 3. Be thankful for what you have and share what you can. Remember, purpose is not found, it's created, one choice at a time. Final words: forgive, slow down, stay calm, believe in healing, love deeply, have faith, live with purpose. These are not just chapters in a book, they are keys to a peaceful, powerful, and beautiful life. Life will never be perfect, but it can always be meaningful. Start today. Choose peace, choose kindness, choose to live fully with love, strength, and faith.